Today is Monday, May 4th, 2026. It's like 10:20 and we're the only car at the Three Ponds trailhead. And this is our plan. I'm trying to get it not be. Okay, so we are that orange and we're gonna come up this way to the Three Ponds shelter. And then we're gonna go out, not that. Actually, this trail is not in the White Mountain Guide. We're gonna go out, this is the Donkey Hill Cutoff. We're gonna go out that way, come down here, and this is the Mount Caneo Trail. We're gonna go into this unnamed trail and then bushwhack to Black Hill. I wish I could get that to zoom in a little. And then we'll probably bushwhack back down towards near the parking area. I'm not sure what this will be like. I think it'll be fine. The area around the Three Pond shelter and on Donkey Hill could be wet and flooded. We'll see. There's a lot of beaver activity out here. So we shall go see. It's nice out right now. Should be, I think, in the mid 60s today, maybe. Yeah. And then we might do Peaked Pond Hill Trail, which is like 1.7 miles flat out to a pond and from a different trailhead. We drove in Google Maps and Waze both want us desperately to come in from the north end, which it says pavement ends right there. We tried to do that last spring and we had to turn around, drive back out to the highway, get on the highway southbound, and then come in on 25 from Plymouth. And so we decided, we were using a small sedan, we decided to just come in from the south. It takes about 10 minutes longer, but you don't have the rough wear on your car and you don't have to turn around like we had to do last year. So when we leave here, we're gonna try to go out that way and see if we have to turn around, then we'll turn around. But I just want to get an idea of how that road is right now, and that will take us closer to the Peaked Pond Hill trailhead if we go that way. But I would, if you're coming from the south, just get off on exit 26 in Plymouth if you want to come out to the Mount Caneo area, because it's paved all the way up here. You go by Stinson Lake, it's all good. That's the way to come. The trailhead is right over here. There were some red trillium blooming right near the trailhead. We've got trout lily here. I'm sure we'll see tons more today. And this is Three Ponds Trail. So far it's like a old logging road. We're still on Three Ponds. We're about a mile in, so about halfway up to the shelter. This is Sucker Brook. That's nice. This doubles as there's a junction right there, huh? What is that a junction to? A snowmobile trail? I was just gonna say, this is snowmobile, obviously, because we've got bridges over every water. And it has been wet, like there's muddy places, but a lot of the places they had little, like bog bridges almost. Oh, they just don't want you to, I don't know what this is. It's not on it's just an abandoned road or something, I don't know. Okay, Three Ponds. It's gonna continue on that. Easy going. We're on a little section of trail that leaves from the right, leaves the snowmobile trail and comes out along Sucker Brook, which this is like the least picturesque section right here. That it was really quite nice before. See, we're going right along the brook and it's lovely. I could see out, the road is like paralleling us right there. And we're gonna pop out to it again very soon. But I could see that it was really wet And this is not wet at all. There you go. How nice is that, huh? Beautiful. We just came right up against the water. This tree right here is taken down by a beaver, and there's some other beaver activity. And then you gotta look out this way, which was quite lovely. And we come right back to the snowmobile trail and check out how wet it is. I hope we bypassed most of that wetness. Yeah. So it's wet, then it's kind of dry, then it's wet some more. It's well marked here. The other end did not have a hiking trail
but there was
sign. There was a blaze you could see. I mean, it was an obvious trail off to the side, but it did not have a sign. All right. This is kind of neat. I thought I would see more moose activity. I haven't really seen anything, but we're coming up to one of the ponds now. So there was a place where the trail diverged again to the right, and it was the hiking trail. And the snowmobile trail continued to go straight, and it also was quite wet. Hiking trail was totally fine. We just came back together right here. So looks like that's the end of the snowmobile trail right there, because there's rocks here and it thins out. Maybe, I mean, I don't know, maybe in the winter you just drive right through here. It's quite wet. I'm gonna be rock hopping a little bit here. And coming up to the shelter very soon. There's a lot of beaver activity out here, so I think sometimes there's entire sections of trail that are completely flooded by beavers. Ooh, squish. Hear that bird? I don't know what that is. We are up at the shelter now, so the pond, you do have a view of it through the trees here. And the trail came up this way. Looks like there's a little beaten path that way, and there's another path that way. There's a fire pit. It smells like it's been recently used. A little bit of extra wood here. And it's quite a large shelter. Back up and kind of get it. It's slightly raining now. So there it is. It's quite large. There's a broom in it. You could probably hammock between these. Actually, there's a place to hang something maybe there. I don't know. In any case, there's lots of open space around it. There's no privy back there, right?
No, there's tons of footpaths.
Yeah, it's like all braided paths all through here. There's a path going up this hill. So possibly up there, you could tent. I would be surprised if you couldn't. You could also just tent out behind here. Not the flattest, but all right, 3 ponds. At the junction now, so Donkey Hill Cutoff is going to go this way, which is basically continuing straight, and 3 ponds turns to the left, and it looks like, I think this is the area where you have to walk across a beaver dam here. We're not going to go this way, I just wanted to check it out. Yeah, so you come right along the top of the beaver dam. Okay.
Then you're in your campsite over there.
Well, I have no idea. We'll have to check it out some other time.
Doesn't look like it would be a good campsite.
I don't know. Okay. Donkey Hill Cutoff, I hear, can be rough and wet. We shall go find out. We are still on the Donkey Hill Cutoff. There's a little spur trail down. We got a Canada goose out here by himself. This is Mount Caneo, and I believe the East Peak right there. Right there. think those are peepers. There's like 2 of them calling back and forth. All right, we're at the junction with Mount Caneo Trail now. This bridge is new and improved. I don't know, last time we were here was a year ago. It did not look like this. I thought it was in good shape though, but I guess not. So the Mount Caneo Trail goes down along this water here. There's a nice waterfall down there, and then it pops out and reconnects up with like this snowmobile trail. So we are actually going to take the snowmobile trail because we're going to take another trail, a snowmobile trail that turns to the right and kind of goes parallel to Donkey Hill Cutoff. And then we're going to start bushwhacking about halfway down it to Black Hill. The cutoff came out right here, which I don't see a sign for it. That's kind of, they should have a sign here. This is the Donkey Hill Cutoff. I thought it was nice. It went right along water, like virtually the entire way, but it was up away from it for 95% of it. So you didn't have like, I mean, there was a little bit of wetness, maybe spring wetness, but you didn't have to worry about it being flooded from beavers or anything like that. I thought it was nice. I thought it was easy to follow. It had some nice views over to Mount Caneo across like the beaver ponds and stuff. So that was Donkey Hill Cutoff. Wow, what bird is that? Did you hear that? It sounded like a chipping sparrow, but lower. Okay. We are partway down the snowmobile trail now. And we're gonna cut in. Maybe right here. We were just looking for the clearest way because it kind of is running flat and then it's gonna go downhill and approach the Three Ponds Trail again near the shelter. But we're gonna head this way. About halfway up Black Hill. You can see the bushwhacking is pretty wide open, although there's a fair amount of hobble bush starting. But yeah, it's been pretty fast going. Is the jar for Black Hill, and we came up pretty much this way. There's like it's like a lump. It probably doesn't show here. It's kind of, this is like a steep descent, relatively. We've got a bunch of blowdowns up here, but it's just like a little raised island, and there's another little raised spot back there, and then another one behind that. And this is looking out at Sandwich Mountain, believe it or not. And then through the trees, I don't know if it will show here. This is Carr Mountain back here. Okay, we're gonna not go back the way we came, but it is.
You didn't drop anything.
Yeah, I didn't drop anything. You have it open?
I do. It's right here.
See, there's some slope angle though, so we are at like right at the dot there.
This section here, and then up here.
And we're gonna come through
there.
Yeah, and the car is parked. I can't.
The trail's parked over.
Right, your car's down there.
Down
yeah.
this trailhead.
Yeah. Yep. The way we came up was super nice. Look at that. Gentle. Yeah, it was good. All right. Onward. It's all downhill from here. I'm not sure why there's a cairn here in the middle of our bushwhack, but there is. I don't know. This over here is like a pretty cliffy area, and the Three Ponds Trail is right below it. So we're just kind of angling around it. This is an obvious cairn though. Yeah, we're gonna stay high so that we don't run into any cliff right here. This is a view out to Stinson Mountain, which is on a 52 with a view right there. Tenney Mountain is over here, and that's Stinson Lake. And we are at an area with some cliff bands. I think we're gonna come along, try to stay along the bottom of them, although I think you could climb down, but there's like blowdowns in there too, which makes it kind of tricky. I think if we go right to like here and then cut down, we'll see. Yay. Sun is out. It is still raining though. It's weird. All right, so we've been working our way down this jumble of rocks underneath the cliff band. You can see there's like caves and voids. This is quite a drop right there. And we're gonna continue hopping along, and I don't know what happens over there. We'll find out.
One way to learn.
I could get down. I could maybe go that way. Maybe I should. Bushwhacking. All right, we're finishing up now. We're on Three Ponds Trail again. And it should be just a little under 6 miles for me. Not sure what John's gonna get. We took kind of divergent routes at the top of the bushwhack. But I was already ahead of him distance-wise, so who knows. And from here, we're gonna go over to the Peaked Pond Hill Trail and walk out to Peaked Hill Pond. Now we're on private land. This is the edge of the property line for there's also a bearing tree in there. The White Mountains. This trailhead is on private land. Yeah, we're gonna go out there and we're gonna take Stinson Lake Road, the unmaintained in winter side of it, and see how that goes when we leave here. And if it's bad, we'll turn around and go back out on Route 25. But yeah, I'll let you know how the road is. We are maybe a half a mile, maybe down the unmaintained road. And there's this beautiful waterfall with a little pull-off next to it. I think you could just cool off there too. So this road is unmaintained in the winter, but look at it. It looks like pavement, but it's not. This bridge is pavement though, so you can see there's a nice pothole there. But there you have it. That's nice. We're at the parking now for Peaked Pond Hill Trail, which is literally, this is I-93 right here. And then we're gonna walk up the road 250 yards to a gate and follow from there. The road, Stinson Lake Road, was fine even for a low slung car. There were a couple places where you had to like avoid a pothole, but it was in good shape. Yep. And yeah, so we could have come in that way, but now we know. Now you guys know. That's the gate. And then this is the trail, which is like a washed out road. There's a sugar shack right there. Okay, and there's one other car out here. It was parked right before the gate. There's a spot for at least one car there. Right here there's a sign and it says trail and points the way we are. And there's a very obvious corridor going that way. If you look on a map, there is a pond down there called Mud Pond. We're gonna walk right along it, it's just on the left here. This is quite a steep drop down. There's like a waterfall right there. Actually, it looks like it splits into two. One on one side, one on the other. A little too steep to go check that out. But Mud Pond, it looks like there's like a whole network of trails in here, including snowmobile trails that are not part of the White Mountain Guide. So it might be worth checking that out on the way back, maybe. We'll see. I mean, we're already going to go to a pond that has a view, so might not need to go see that pond also. But yeah, black flies are present here. This is kind of the first place that, oh, there was a red squirrel, that I've seen any. There's some old stone walls. There's my squirrel. Oh, he jumped. He's on that tree. There he is. Okay, this is super easy going. It's 1.7 miles each way, 450 feet of gain on the way in, and 50 feet of gain on the way out. Okay, so we're coming up now to the fork that goes out to Peaked Pond. And you can see the snowmobile trail continues, but this is actually going to be the end of the trail as far as the White Mountain Guide goes. There's the... All right, so I can see Peaked Hill right through the trees. Right there. We're coming out to the pond and it will have a view of that. Check it out in a second. This is Peaked Hill Pond. And there's Peaked Hill and a little sub bump right there. Also on Peaked Hill. There are swarms of, I think, black flies here, but they're not biting right now. There's a canoe that is locked up. And another little place where you can go down and get a view. And then over here looks like a campsite, I think. Well, fire pit. Yeah, tent spot. Another tent spot. Another access down. Okay, well that was simple. This would be a nice little hike if you were, oh, there's a sign over there. I wonder if it's posted. I can't tell what it says. Right on that tree. This was all on like logging road, and it was really soft and no rocks, no mud, no ruts. The other guy who was out here was a runner. It's the perfect trail if you need a couple miles in and relatively low elevation gain. I think it was like 450 feet of gain. Yeah, so if you were, recovering from an injury or something, this would be a nice little hike out. Okay, Peaked Hill Pond. Here it is. And we are approaching the trailhead again. I-93 straight ahead of me. That was a very simple, innocuous hike. It had a nice pond at the end. That pond is on private land, and so is the trailhead. So perhaps that's why they had the canoe out there and everything. So it is actually not part of the forest. All right. Well, this was a lovely day. I think tomorrow will probably be bushwhacking, but we shall see. The weather keeps getting updated and changing, so not sure what we'll do tomorrow, but we'll definitely be hiking.